Welcome to Barbell Brigade. I'm Alex.
I'm Bart.
I'm Gio.
Somebody bring me a dumbbell, cause I'm Lou.
Or radio.
Like a 5-pound dumbbell or 2 pound?
At least 80. At least 80. I should have some under here and be like, get swole while I'm filming.
Alright, so when it comes to training for powerlifting, how much is too much Westside? How much is too much conjugate system? Because we all know when it comes to Westside, the biggest thing that separates that from all the other programs is accommodating resistance, meaning chains, bands, and all that. How much is too much bands? How much is too much chains?
I mean, I think some people take it to the limit. Like they push it to the limit. Like they do like reverse preacher curl, dynamic effort. You know, like they might.
So they have bands on the.
I might be doing bands right now with my feet. For all I know, doing Westside right now under the table.
That's too
resistance
much Westside,
training.
bro.
That's too much Westside.
Too much Westside.
Some people are doing way too much Westside. They'll put like 10 bands on like a reverse, a overload squat. And it's like, they don't even have to do anything, you know, like the bands will do all the work for you. And they're screaming, they're like, ah! And it's like all the band is taking like the tension and the weight from the, you know, obviously the bar. But I think that's too much, you know, you can't depend on these bands and these chains all the time. Like you actually have to squat to get a better squat. You're gonna have to bench to get a better bench and deadlift, you know.
For me, I think I like the training when it's just like simple, you know. I like it. I understand where all this is coming from, like chains, bands, and stuff like that. But for me, I think it's just too much if you're not doing the regular movement. And all I see is them just doing like chains, and I've seen some weird stuff where they're like doing like camber bar benching. Like it's like to the point where it's like I don't really see the benefits of it, and that's when I say I think that's just too much. Like people in the past, powerlifting has been here like for a while. They didn't do like all that stuff, so I'm saying like keep it simple. It's great if you know what you're missing, like if you're kind of slow off the chest and you need to use resistance bands or whatever like that, then I understand. But I think beyond that it's just too much. I've seen some ridiculous things.
One of the weirdest things that I've seen is they'll have bands that go on the regular way, so it's extra heavy at the top, but then they wear a slingshot to help them. So it's like, why would you have bands that go this way but also have something to help you go the other way?
You saw that?
Yeah, it'd be the same thing as if you overloaded your squat,
it's
but then you add chains on it. It's like, well, doesn't that just kind of minus each other out a little bit?
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy shit.
Yeah, it's a very detailed program. Like I think it works for sure. Like I'm not talking down on the program at all. It works, but I think people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to apply it. Yeah, it's way too much. Like there's some people who don't even know what the chains do. You know, they just throw some chains on there and take pictures with it because they think it looks cool.
Hardcore, yeah.
So yeah, because they're like, oh, like how much weight is that? And they'll put like on their caption, did like 500 and stuff. At least I like to be very detailed about it. I'm like, oh, you know, dynamic effort or overload training with like reverse bands, right? Because I'm sure all of you guys apply a little bit of Westside's conjugate method. Yeah. And it's very useful to do like, what was it that you were saying earlier?
Like speed work?
Yeah, speed work is good, you know, with bands and chains for overloading, but you have to know how to use it. You can't just throw these things on and just be like, oh, I look like a badass when you don't even know what you're doing and you're not applying the program right, you know. Again, people are doing reverse bands on their preacher curls. I've seen it, like, they're like, oh!
Like if they wanted really fast curls.
Hey, that's true, I mean.
Speed curls. You never heard of that?
No.
Have you heard of speed abs?
No. Actually, you know what?
I feel like that might work though.
I've actually done ab roller with a band.
Whoa, that actually works.
Yeah, see, that's actually good. That's Westside. But with the ab roller, you're just like,
Did you have a chain around your neck?
I tried, yeah. It was tough. I put a slingshot on too, actually.
Didn't work very well, huh?
And it sprung me up really quick like that. That's why I got so shredded and jacked like this.
So for sure, like accommodating resistance works, but like what Alex was saying, I think it's important for you to master the movement because there's so many people, all they do is just all the band and chain type of work. And what ends up happening is they get really good at bands and chains, and then you never compete with bands and chains.
Exactly.
So when you put the free weights on, then they suck ass.
It kind of goes back to the whole training with like straps or wrist wraps. Like you get used to it and you're not actually doing the motion, and you're not practicing the actual movement with your actual hands. And so like you said, people get really dependent on this stuff and it doesn't translate over immediately. You know, you have to do the actual movement.
Right. I guess the takeaway from this is for anyone that's competing and you're constantly using different types of methods or equipment to like facilitate any type of training that you're doing. If you're going to be competing, you should be training the way you're going to be doing in competition for sure.
So that might even mean sometimes you don't want to train with no headphones on too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you're right. For sure, like with headphones, it's, again, you want to simulate the closest thing to the meet or a competition that you're doing. You're not going to have headphones on at all. And people get nervous like that. They don't know how to control their emotions, but you have to learn how to kind of put yourself in that really vulnerable position that you kind of exposed to because of the situation.
Someone bring him a dumbbell.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah, so you get a pump. See right there?
For Worlds.
Oh, I did.
Dave called you on the phone. He's like, what do you want to sign up for? We put you down for 198. He's like, no, I'm 181.
I was gonna cut.
He got mad at me.
Yeah, all of us, we looked
got
at each
mad
other
at
in the room and we're like, 198.